following program is intended for mature audiences.
All right. Hey, these uniforms are lame, man.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Yeah!
Oh, good!
We got it down. Yeah, get
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Let me know when we're officially recording, because I've got a announcement for the start of Bass before we get into this week's show.
We are officially recording right now.
All right. So welcome, Bass listeners, to Base Sports Show and to the sound of my cat going through a paper bag. I've got a bit of an announcement.
Okay.
As our listeners may know, Greg has been joining myself and Jack from Basically a Geek Show to do periodic, I guess, political coverage through the primaries. And we should probably get on another one of those, Greg.
Yes, we probably should. You're right.
But before we get to that, I want to issue an open challenge to a certain CCSLC user.
Oh. Okay, I know where this is going, I think. Go ahead.
Admiral, if you are listening, I am issuing an open debate. It can be on Bass, it can be on Bags, it can be on the primary specials, whatever your deal is, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I am willing to use this platform that I have a vested interest in to offer you a chance to, one, make a case for Bernie Sanders, and two, I wanted to debate you on the merits of the Democratic candidacy vis-a-vis Clinton versus Sanders. You've been dodging all this stuff on the boards. You know, and good on you. You know, message boarding is your forte. But I would honestly like an honest, open, snark-free discussion about this. And, yeah, there's a challenge. I don't know. If you're listening, let me know. If you're not, obviously, but, you know, that's not going to happen. But if news of this were to make its way to you and you found out about it, I'd love to hear back one way or the other. And I will be happy
I will be happy to mediate this debate. I will stay out of it. I will just simply control the proceedings as the moderator.
The representative from Ontario has the floor.
Right. But you know, I don't want to get way inside baseball here with board stuff, but Mike's absolutely right. He will not, when challenged, and when legitimately challenged, I should say, he will not, if you've got him backed into a corner, he simply ignores you. Simple as that. He doesn't address it. So I'm all for that. I think it would be a great special, a nice bonus content show, and I'm right there with you. I think it would be a fun listen for everybody, not to mention, and yeah, I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet too. So there you go.
Boom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about veering away from that. Can we talk about how the Golden State Warriors are potentially fucked?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This is just, look,
Steph and Curry.
I have nothing against the Golden State Warriors. For the longest time, they were the butt end of every NBA joke, and the fact that they have gone on this historic run, to me, I think is incredibly cool. I hold no ill will against this team whatsoever. But I got to admit, I'm laughing my ass off at this whole 73-win record-setting season. And then, God damn it. Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
So Curry, first he injures his ankle in game 2. Was it game 1 or game 2?
It was Houston. It was game 1 because they were talking about sitting him for game 2, yeah.
Right. And then they come back here for game 4 now after the Warriors lose in Houston, so it's 2-1. A scary situation for the Warriors, I'm sure. And Curry comes out, steps on a wet spot on the floor, and his knee goes the opposite direction. And now he gets a sprained knee.
with an MRI to come. So now it probably isn't, but it could be worse than a sprained knee. We don't know what the MRI is going to say yet, but
him for the series. You don't need all of your guns to beat the goddamn Houston Rockets, guys.
Oh, but I think we talked about this one a couple of weeks back, or maybe it was even last week with the NBA
I think we came to the conclusion that they should just sit him for the series.
Right, and if they do the 73-win season and don't win it all, it's a moot point, really. It doesn't mean anything.
That's almost as laugh-worthy as the Patriots going 16-0 and then chirping the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same exact idea, right? They have this record-setting season and walk away empty-handed, and you become a footnote. You don't become the 72 Dolphins or the whatever year it was, the Bulls when they went 72-10. You don't become that. You become the Patriots. You become that Mariners team that won. See, this is how much of a footnote you become. Baseball freak that one Mariners team that won a whole bunch of games. That's all I know about them. I don't remember what year it was, how many games they won, or anything else. It's going to be a shame, but yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, well, will they hang a Patriots-esque? Because the Patriots, even though they lost, they still put up a 16-0 regular season banner. Will the Warriors join their Bay Area brethren, the Sharks, in putting up a completely meaningless banner?
I would say I'd be. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I'm just going to say that because of all the coverage this season has gotten, I think that they are going to try to salvage something out of it if they don't win it all. And so, yeah, they will put up a banner.
I think this would be one time I would set aside my championships or bust thing, because that's winning 73 games in an NBA season. This one I'd be okay with. And, yeah, either way, they probably should recognize it somehow. So I'd say, yeah, they would hang up the banner. But how is he? Have we heard how long he's going to be out or anything, or if he's going to be out?
It just says sprained knee for now.
Oh, he missed the past two games, and now he sprained his knee. Oh man!
But we say that, and the Warriors still won by 30.
Yeah.
Or I guess 27 over the Rockets. So they'll beat the Rockets.
Yeah.
In the second round, I think they're going to get Dallas. Is it Dallas, Oklahoma City? Let me see if I can find the bracket. Second round, they would get the Clippers. The Clippers Trailblazers win it.
Yeah, they could probably win that one too.
That series 2-1.
You know what's going to happen here, don't you? Curry's going to get hurt, be out. The Warriors will end up not making it. Cleveland will win a championship finally, because they don't have to beat the Warriors to do it, and everybody's going to say, "Yeah, but you didn't beat the Warriors to get it." That's oh my God, the perfect. Talk about the perfect scenario.
No. This is the perfect opportunity for we the North. We the North.
It would just be Cleveland's luck to have that happen, that they finally get that championship, and everyone. It'd be like the Rockets that won when. The Rockets won when Jordan was retired or whatever it was. Yeah, that's what it'll be.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's not like you actually earned it. And it's like, oh.
But what does it say about the NBA playoffs that the most interesting thing about them right now is whether or not, or how badly Steph Curry's hurt? I mean,
it's tough because there are some good series going on, but they don't matter.
Right. It comes down.
Already swept the Memphis Grizzlies.
Is that over already?
Yeah, I think not that the Grizzlies were any real serious threat, but I want to say they had a lot of injuries and stuff, and so it's not
might as well say the Spurs won in 3 basically.
Yeah,
it was one of those things, but they're already through. Cleveland plays Detroit tonight; they could already be through. I don't know. I mean, the Hawks Celtics has been pretty good. Heat Hornets has been pretty good. Raptors Pacers is tied 2-2. That's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But who cares? Well, all we care is the most interesting result will be the result of Curry's MRI tomorrow.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Raptors series matters because the Raptors will represent the NBA East in this year's NBA Finals. Mark my words. Mark my word.
And they'll, and they're going to get slaughtered by whoever wins the West.
No. Steph Curry's going to have his leg amputated, and the Raptors are going to win the championship.
Yeah,
but seriously, Are the Warriors useless without Steph Curry? I don't think so.
No, I think if they were in the East,
they become incredibly beatable.
Right.
That's the.
You put them in the East, and I think they still win the conference even without him. It's the West where it's going to be a little tougher to get past San Antonio.
That is the big question. Can a Curryless Warriors team beat the Spurs? And that, I think, is less clear cut.
And if they can, and if they do, then yeah, I think they win it again because they're really good without him. I mean, you don't. One guy is not enough to win 73 games in an NBA season. As good as he is, as good as Jordan was, we saw it with especially with the Jordan Bulls before he got the good cast of players around him. He was just a really good guy on bad teams. So I think that they can still do it without Curry. But the other argument is that the 2 seasons without Jordan when he retired, they didn't win it. So no, but they did. I want to say they won at least. It was either 51 or 55 games the first year after he retired.
They were still they were still contenders, but
yeah.
They did not win. They did not win the championship that year. So there's a very good argument in that case that one player made the difference.
He made the difference. What I'm saying though is that the Warriors aren't all Steph Curry, but then again they kind of are all Steph Curry because without him, I don't know. But like I said, the NBA playoffs, it's the biggest time of the year in the NBA and all that, and the most interesting thing is going to be the result of his MRI so far. It's just I don't know. I try to get into it, but, man, I'm just not interested. It's just as simple as that. I don't know how else to put it. I just really don't care that much.
Yeah, it's a problem that the NBA's had for a long time, and the Warriors becoming good kind of changed things up, but then they became so good that it just became utter dominance.
I've said it before. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming with them being – we knew they were good last year, but I don't think anyone saw this coming up this year.
Well, it's one of those things where everything bounces right, and your schedule is in a way that they didn't – there was a lot of talk early when they had that streak going of what they started out the season 24-0.
Right.
That they weren't really playing any hard teams, and then the schedule kind of bounced in the way where – they're not getting the bad back, like they're not playing a back-to-back against the Spurs and then Oklahoma City or something like that.
Right.
It's manageable games, just travel, all that sort of thing for it to play out in a way that they could do it. But, it's just variables. It's sports. Weird shit happens.
But
the first game they lost to the Bucks, and I remember the Bucks were not very good at the time. And so everyone got up for them, and it's just some teams are bad, some teams are good, and sports.
Well, speaking of sports and playoffs that actually do have our interest, my St. Louis Blues are doing it again, guys.
Can I just say y'all need to start listening to me more often when I said that the Blues were going to blow this? And that the Ducks weren't dead.
I was confident in the Blues until game 5. No. Game 5. When they're up 3-1 and they come back to St. Louis, if they can win it then and there, then that's the end of it. Mm-hmm. But when you go into overtime and it starts going longer and longer and longer, you just get the feeling like, well, Blackhawks are probably going to win this game, aren't they? and then they do, and then all of a sudden it's, oh no,
it's
the same feeling that I had with the Sharks against the Kings a couple of years ago.
I was just going to say the same thing. There's just that moment where you go, okay, this thing is completely the script is completely flipped in this thing.
And then I thought it was wrong again when Game 6 starts and the Blues are up 3-1. It's like, well, maybe they're going to do what the Sharks did and actually, man up. And then they lose the lead and said, well, maybe they'll still do what the Sharks did. And even though they tried to choke away the game again, maybe they'll find that last push and win the thing. Mm-hmm. And then the Blackhawks are tied, and we have a Game 7 in St. Louis tomorrow night on Monday.
And Ken Hitchcock, by the way, was absolutely hilarious when he said this was the best case scenario.
Oh my God, I could really?
Yeah.
No, the best case scenario is you win 4 straight and you go on to the next round. That's the best case scenario.
The best. He said it in a way that was like, we played all year to get home ice advantage in this Game 7, so
this
is why we get home ice so you can have this game at home.
Yeah, but how much is it?
Doesn't matter.
Or you could have just won Game 5, or you could have just won Game 5 at home, and
right.
Yeah, as a fan of a team that has lost 3 consecutive Game 7s at home, I would like to say that it doesn't mean shit.
Especially against the Blackhawks.
The team has to come out and play.
If the series had gone back and forth, and here we are at Game 7, I'd say, yeah, it probably does play a role. But no, they were up, 3-1?
They were 3-1.
3-1, and now they're tied going to Game 7. I'm sorry, but the only thing you've got left is just, to basically choose which way you're going to fall. Because that's all it's left is, what was that, the Lion and Winter, I think, where it's like only when the fall's left, it's all that matters. The thing I'm trying to get to anyway. That's what their options are. How do we die? That's as simple as that. I can't get over it. And I said on the show, I made it clear I'm not falling for it. I fell for it again. I always do. They suck me in every single year, and here I am again. Every single fucking year.
But to compare the two teams that were so similar in everything they were doing, you look at how the Blues Blackhawks series has played out, and then you look at how the King Sharks series has played out. I'm still of the Sharks had to close it out in Game 5. If they had lost Game 5, and then you have to go back to San Jose with the kind of foundation of, oh shit, is this going to happen again? And then you have to go all the way back to LA again. Then you think, well, maybe this is, maybe the same thing's going to happen. And so St. Louis, they had to close it down in Game 5.
Yeah.
And they had the opportunity. They made, the Blackhawks were up big, and they made a comeback. They had the momentum going into overtime. Didn't do a damn thing with it, and then Patrick Kane does what Patrick Kane does, and gave Blackhawks all the momentum again.
Yep.
And now we're sitting here tied 3-3, and on the other side of it, you have the Sharks that are sitting pretty, waiting for the second round already. Yeah. So it just shows you got to take your opportunities. Or teams like the Blackhawks or like the Kings, you got to kill them when you have the chance, and if you don't let them hang around.
Although the Sharks definitely made it more interesting than it needed to be that Game 5.
They did. Like when they go up 3-0, and then you give Patrick Marleau a penalty shot. I'm sitting there watching.
One of the worst penalty shot attempts I've ever seen, by the way.
Right, but before the penalty shot, you're just thinking, this is it. They're going to go up 4-0. Yeah, just put the skate on their throat and stomp.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Marleau kind of comes in and just kind of, flips the puck at Jonathan Quick's leg. Like, all right, whatever. And then the Kings come back, and it's, oh no, here it comes. Everything's going bad. I'm blacking out. And then they managed to find, a set of balls and win the game. So,
but that's the thing. Like the Sharks saw it happening and said, "No, we can't let it happen. We have to end this now."
Yeah.
The Blues saw it happening and just kind of curled up and let it happen.
It was like the minute Chicago showed, it was just like the Blues are just like, we just have to step out of the way and let this happen now. Like, just that's it. It just blows my mind how a team can just continually do this. I just don't get it. And like I said on the show, I'm not falling for it. Maybe I'm not. I don't believe they're going to do it, but I really wanted them to. And I've still got like a glimmer of hope that maybe tomorrow they finally do what no one expects them to do. But who am I kidding? I've already got my red and black attire ready for the annual St. Louis farewell party tomorrow. Come on.
Well, the theme of why do we even bother?
The theme of why do we even bother, right?
Like, I don't know. It's a case where, it's not over till it's over, but this game is the ultimate personification of what I've been saying all playoffs. I'll believe the Blues can beat the Blackhawks when they show me that they can beat the Blackhawks, and they haven't beat them yet. So I've got to just assume the Blackhawks are going to win.
Well, it's just like we talked about the San Jose LA series a couple years back. It got to Game 7, and sure, the Sharks were still alive, but no one thought for a second they were going to win that Game 7. No one. I'm not even sure they thought they were going to win it.
They were up 1-0 at one point, and then it was just all downhill from there. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that I was right. Ducks weren't done.
No, and we never said they were done. We were just concerned.
I was very concerned, but they found their game. They just did the simple shit: go to the crease, get in front of the net, harass Pecorine, be hard on the puck, create turnovers, and lo and behold, all that shit works, and they're up 3-2. But again, with recent history in mind, I think the Ducks need to win this Game 6. I do not want to be sitting in that building on Wednesday.
Another home Game 7.
I would be more concerned if I were you. This first round, I'm not. If they have to go to a Game 7, and I don't think they will, but if they do, I'm not sweating it so much in the first round. I mean, if I were you, I don't blame you. I'd be nervous as hell. But
unless we all just misread the situation and assumed that they would get to the finals. Instead, there is no finals in the equation, and you just keep looping Game 7 losses at home in alternate rounds, 1-2-3, 1-2-3.
I just shuddered at that.
Well, if that's the case, we are due for one again, right?
Yeah. Like,
I don't think you got a thing to worry about, Zach. They're just the better team. They'll be okay. I really.
They are the better team. That's not my question. That's not my concern. It's that if they do lose in Nashville, and then they have to go play Game 7, and let's say what happens, like it happened in Game 5, where Nashville scores first, and you're down 1-0 at home in Game 7 again.
Especially if it's early, like it has been the past couple times with their Game 7s. No.
Yeah. It won't just be that maybe the players are feeling it. The entire tenor in the building will change.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can even see it on TV sometimes in some of these buildings when it starts to go, and you can feel it. Like,
well, was it last year?
There was something wrong.
Against the Blackhawks last year? Was it? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Game 7 last. I mean, when they came out and scored early, I was in Ohio, and I'm like, oh man, you could feel it all the way in Ohio from Anaheim or wherever it was, Chicago, wherever it was. I don't remember. But
no, I remember that first goal, and I just remember thinking
it was just like the wind just went right out of everybody.
Exactly. So I don't even want to have to deal with the thought. So just win tomorrow, Ducks, and then you don't have to deal with Game 7.
If there's any
won Game 6, and then everything's great. Because that's the other thing with all these Game 7 losses at home. In each of those opportunities, they were up 3-2. They went on the road for Game 6 and couldn't close it out. They didn't close it out against Detroit. Didn't do it against the Kings. Didn't do it against the Blackhawks. They had opportunities in each of those games to do it too, and they just didn't. So put the foot down on the gas and end this thing tomorrow. Because if it's literally the deja vu thing over again, and you have a close game that you can't win, and you come back here, team goes up early in the first, I might just spend the rest of the game walking the concourse and just pacing.
Listening for like big crowd eruptions to see what's...
Yeah,
of course, of course you'll be pacing the concourse with your marble floors.
Of course.
I'll just say that in all, you've got 7-game series in baseball, basketball, and hockey. If there's one sport that I do not want my team to go to a Game 7, unless they're behind, but you never want to go to Game 7 ever in hockey because just too many strange things happen. You get a weird bounce of the puck and you're done. It's just it's just nerve-wracking to even think about it. But that's what makes a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Playoffs the best sporting event in professional sports, I think, is that aspect of it, because anything can happen, and oh my God, it's so intense.
I also want to tip my hat to the Minnesota Wild for making it more of a series than I think any of us gave them credit for.
Yeah.
No, Dallas tried to give that thing away. They tried to pull a Sharks and a Blues and let the Wild back in that. But it's just weird. I can't really explain to you why the Wild started scoring goals, but they started scoring goals. Mm-hmm. And Dallas, their handling of their goaltenders was really weird. Like they were up when they were up 2-1. They lost the first game in Minnesota. They went to they switched from Kari Lettinen into Antti Niemi just because they lost the game, which I didn't think that was necessarily they needed to do.
It seemed like a bit of an overreaction.
Right, and then Niemi comes in, wins the game, and then loses the next game in overtime. After a tight one, and then they switch back to Lettinen for Game 6, and it looked like Dallas had righted themselves. They were up 4-0. Everything was going to be great, and then the Wild just chipped, and all of a sudden you're sitting there with 11 minutes left, and it's a 1-goal game. and they were throwing everything at Dallas. And you see the play there at the end where the puck was just literally millimeters from crossing over the plane entirely. But it, Charlie Letton's pad was just slightly behind the line, and the puck was just so close to not going in.
That was close. But
Dallas again, they tried to give it away, but they're on to round 2 at least.
Good on them for
go ahead.
I was just going to say good on them for holding it off. But, yeah, Minnesota turning it up. Like, where the hell did this goal production come from?
I have no idea.
There's no explanation because Parise's still injured. Yeah. And I didn't see them do anything too different. It was just the goals started going in this time rather than being stopped. And I think this is also kind of a problem that I looked at Dallas, not necessarily in the first round because I didn't think Minnesota was going to be able to do anything, but this is Dallas's MO all season. They can score a shit ton of goals, and they did in the series, but their goaltending and their defense.
Well, did they ever settle? I mean, like, did they really even have a true number one goalie? I mean, I know that Lettinen and what's his name, Niemi?
Yeah, they went back and forth. Yeah. They were saying during this game that this was the Stars had the first pair of goaltenders to win 25 games apiece in like 20 years or something like that.
But let's be perfectly honest. Neither of them are, bona fide elite NHL goaltenders.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that similar to having, like, okay, when you've got 2 starting quarterbacks, you really don't have any type of thing? I mean, 25 wins apiece is pretty good, but...
Yeah, they're fine, and they won plenty of games. I don't know if it's similar, but it's one of those things where, it's a problem Bruce Boudreau has had, right, where he's had 2 good goaltenders, and he feels that, well, both the goaltenders are good, so I can just flip-flop between the 2 of them, and everything will be A-okay.
That's not how it works because
you got
goalies need to get into a rhythm.
That's what I mean. Like with a quarterback, you might have 2 guys that are both perfectly capable, but you really kind of want to have the one guy that can get into his thing and deliver consistently every night or every weekend in the case of football. But in either case, I mean, that the 25 wins apiece, that's 50-win season. That's pretty good. So.
Right, it's pretty good, but again, it's because Dallas can shoot the hell out of the puck. But when it gets down to the later rounds of the playoffs, you can win a first-round series on pure offense. But in the next round, even if they have to play St. Louis with the big chokers that we think they are.
Let's not kid ourselves. We know that's not going to happen. So let's just
right. But whether they play St. Louis or Chicago, they're going to play a team that is much better defensively and much better goaltending wise than they faced in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's just a simple fact. And the team, not only are they better defensively, but they can also put the puck in themselves.
Well, I don't think anyone seriously had Dallas as a Stanley Cup favorite this season. I mean, they had a good regular season, but this was not a team that was going to outlast the likes of Anaheim or Chicago. It's just not that type of year. Like, it's just not that type of team.
And I'd like to thank the New York Rangers for showing up and
God,
at least showing up.
Yeah,
they were there.
No, Henrik Lundqvist might be past his due date in terms of him being
I think he broke. I think the series broke him.
Yeah, in terms of being like the go-to elite goaltender in the league, he's still a very good goaltender, but he got outdueled by Jeff Zatkoff and Matt Murray.
Yeah.
The Penguins forwards really started rolling and they were scoring goals pretty well themselves. But Jeff Zatkoff and Matt Murray are the goaltenders Henrik Lundqvist is going to lose to.
Well, I mean, I don't care who you are. Eventually, you start coming down the other side of that hill, and maybe he's just starting to come down the other side of the hill. Still going to be good, but I'm with you. We talked about it when we did the little preview a couple weeks back. I think this team is past its window. If it ever really had, if it ever really had that great of a window to begin with, I
think so. I mean, you just compare this series. Like, look at this year's Penguins-Rangers series to last year's Penguins-Rangers series, where last year the Rangers wiped the floor with the Penguins. This year, the script completely flips. So I think,
I think the window closed last season. Last season was do or die for the Rangers, and they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Like last year was the year where they had to win it all, and it just didn't happen. So,
well,
there you are.
It's still the best looking series of the whole playoff so far, as aesthetic goes.
I'm just happy that the Penguins won it at home, so we got to see those awesome throwbacks.
Right.
And in the second round, they'll get a team that, you know what? They didn't choke either. Congratulations, Capitals.
Hey, now that was one I called. I called that one. I called a sweep, but they still won.
You outshot another team 45-10 ultimately, and you lost 2-0.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do?
Wait,
you
they
did as much as you possibly could.
They outshot them 45-10.
Yeah,
And lost. Yes.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, Michael Neuer was standing on his head, and even in the 3 games he played, he only let in 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So and he went 2-1 ultimately. He just happened to go in when they were already down 3-0. So who's to say if the Flyers had changed goalies earlier in the series if it had changed? But good on the Capitals, and they held off a hard charge there at the end by the Flyers in Game 6 there to ultimately win and move on to the second round. Which is, I'm actually kind of happy. Like, the Flyers, it would have been funny if the Capitals had lost again, and kind of interesting to see the Flyers move forward and get Penguins Flyers. But I like the Capitals finally moving on and maybe getting that chance to show what they're worth ultimately.
Yeah.
But they're going up again. Well, we're getting that Ovechkin Crosby series that the NHL has been salivating over forever. So
yeah. I also like to think of it as Pens versus Caps, an eternal struggle.
Okay.
God.
Will the Pens get capped?
Oh, look at Zach right in the headlines already. Look at him go. And then we got our Florida Panthers.
The Lightning.
Oh, the Lightning made quick work of the Red Wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Detroit, on your 25th straight playoff appearance. Now, fuck off and die. Please.
Yeah, first team out of the playoffs is the Red Wings, and good. That's good to see.
That's karma for that stupid center ice logo.
Oh, that was so dumb.
Hey, now wait a minute. So we might have an all Florida series coming up here, huh? If the Panthers can get up off of mats here, yeah.
Panthers are currently leading Game 6 in Brooklyn. Honky the car doing all he can to keep the Islanders ahead. But the Islanders are up 3-2 with 2 overtime wins. The last one double overtime down in Florida. That's actually been probably one of the most entertaining of the series. Neither team has won 2 games in a row. They just kept going back and forth. This is a good one.
Yeah. I'd say it is the single most entertaining series of the first round. Just because
I kind of like Blues Blackhawks more just because it's funny.
Well, yeah, okay, that's entertaining in the ha-ha kind of sad clown sort of way.
Right. But in terms of pure hockey, yes. The Florida Islanders one is probably the best one so far.
It's been interesting. I've honestly watched last couple of games, and it's been edgier seat hockey. And it's not a case, right, where like there's been a team that just hasn't been able to put it away. It's just been 2 good teams throwing everything they have against each other, and eventually one team wins, but it hasn't been the same team twice in a row. And I don't want to say it's over here because these games have been high scoring. So I doubt this 1-0 score is going to hold.
They're in Brooklyn, right?
They're in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's not going to hold. That's not going to hold.
They're going into the third period.
But I think this goal is the full 7, and then once it gets back to the Everglades for Game 7, then anything can happen.
If you do get an all Florida series, you got to go to one of those games, Greg.
I would love to. I really would. I really would. I mean, Tampa's Tampa's closer for me than wherever Sunrise or wherever the Panthers.
Yeah,
play.
but you could probably get Panthers tickets easier.
Yeah.
Well, and the winner of this series could win your affection. You can think of it that way.
No. I'm staying with my Blue Jackets. I can't quit them. I'm not going to walk away from that.
Yeah.
But I could pick. Well, I already can tell you, like, of the two Florida teams, I like the Lightning better. Just the way it's just always been that way. But yeah, it's an all Florida hockey series. That ought to be interesting. I wonder if anybody will show up.
Yeah. We could have an all Florida and all California hockey series.
That'd be, you know what, a Stanley Cup final, Florida versus California would be pretty freaking hysterical, if you ask me.
That's why I picked it for my final, because I think it's funny.
You would have a whole lot of people pitching a whole lot of bitches over that one. Let me tell you, like Lightning Ducks in the final. That would be. You know what? I'm just going to throw one more boards reference in here. If that happens, spare me all the ratings bullshit and all that. Who cares? You know what? Just leave it be. We get it, but it's not going to have the same curve appeal. Huh?
Like, why do regular fans care about the ratings?
I really don't know.
I know you care about them a little bit because you were in the media business. I'm trying to be in the media business. It's interesting in that way to me. But as far as like a fan, like who cares?
It's interesting to me, and it's interesting to me because I want to see the game do better. And I'm always curious to see, but if it's got bad ratings, I mean, there are people that seem to take great joy in that because it's not one of the original six or a really popular team. They're like, see, told you. And it's like, well, what are you supposed to do? What? Okay, let's say that it does become like Panthers Ducks. Okay, let's be honest, that's not going to have a lot of appeal outside of those two markets. So what's the NHL supposed to do? Say, hey, you know what? This was not going to do the same ratings that Rangers Blackhawks would do, so we better just tell these guys to go home and get the Rangers and Blackhawks off the golf course and get them back out here to play this final. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You know?
Yeah.
You dance with two, brung you to the ball, man, basically. I don't know. But that's what's going to happen. They're going to start bitching about the ratings, and, well, so what?
Don't care.
Hey, Vinny LeCavier is retiring, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's only been around for, ever.
Yeah. But he had a nice little resurgence there with the Kings late in the year, but he's done. And, the Kings traded for him on the assumption that he was going to retire because he has a cap hit that once he retires, the cap hit goes away. But if he had decided to stick around, then the Kings would have been screwed.
Ooh.
So, they made the trade assuming that he would retire. And if he didn't, then that would be bad faith to the Kings, and who knows what would happen at that point. I would have think it was funny too. But
I'm trying to think. I want to say, let's see, he's 17 years, so that would be. Did I see him play his rookie season when he was with the Lightning in '98? Does that sound right? I know I saw him play, but was that his rookie year? '98?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, time flies. Let me tell you. Yeah, there was they had an exhibition game. It was Lightning Sabres played after.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was like a IHL game. It was the Cleveland Lumberjacks at the time against the oh God, who are the Griffins? I can't remember the city they play in.
Grand Rapids.
Yeah, and then it was Blues or not Blues, Bills. God no, Sabres, Lightning after that, and LeCavier played, and Dan Cloutier was in goal for the Lightning that night. Come to think of it, but anyway,
how many beach balls got through?
Most. They just started having fun with it. Like, let's try a beach ball. All right, get that great big fucking globe from upstairs in the main office and see if we can shoot that past them. And sure enough, they did. Anyway, did we get all the series in here? Are we done?
Those are all the series. The only thing else I wanted to talk about with the NHL, Gary Bettman is not a fan of things being thrown on the ice.
Oh, shut up, Gary.
Did you hear what he had to say about this stuff? Because it came after the nonsense in Philly when they were throwing stuff on the ice.
It's Philly. You have to. You're going to throw shit on. It's Philadelphia. They threw shit at Santa Claus.
You're just happy that they're not throwing explosives or things that are on fire, and it's a good night if you can get through like that.
Right. Again, things like that. They're not frequent, and so you know that they're not going to be a thing. It's not going to be something that they have to really crack down on a regular basis. But he was basically saying anything besides hats shouldn't be thrown on the ice. And somebody asked him, well, what about the rats in Florida or the octopus? He's like, well, the octopus, while I'm not defending it, the Red Wings have done a pretty good job about cleaning it up, and they're not swinging it anymore, so octopus goop doesn't get on the players or the ice. Gary Bettman said the words. Gary Bettman said the words octopus goop, which just makes me smile. And he said something else like, and thousands of rats are different than one octopus. So it's like, well, they throw the rats after the game, Gary, you idiots.
All he has done by doing this is like now when Detroit makes it for the 26th time next year, you're just going to get more
octopus.
They're going to throw more. You're going to see more. I mean, I don't know. I could see it if they were throwing like bottles and garbage, and but come on, just
what does he think about throwing the hats for a hat trick?
Well, he thinks those are fine. That's fine because that's just tradition. Even though throwing the rats is tradition.
Yeah, the rats and the octopus are tradition. I don't understand.
I mean, Nashville throws catfish on the ice before their games because they wanted to be like Detroit. But,
catfish?
Catfish, yeah. I saw a picture of how one guy got it in. He had an entire catfish just saran wrapped to his back.
Oh, God.
So he could hide it under his jersey.
So I think we can I think we can say that Gary Bettman is not a fan of the Flin Flon moose leg.
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
And that just shows you what kind of person he is, because if you can't be a fan of the moose leg, you're just not having enough fun here on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned.
The Cleveland Browns made a halfway decent NFL trade.
No way.
And the Eagles moved up to number 2 because apparently they really want one of the quarterbacks, and it looks like the Rams are probably going to pick Jared Goff.
The Browns dropped down to 8, huh? Okay.
Yeah, the Eagles were really high on Carson Wentz. Obviously not having Sam Bradford in their long-term plans, which didn't make Sam Bradford very happy. But the Eagles trade up to number 2, and the Browns moved down to number 8, and they got a whole slew of picks. The Browns did. I'm trying
to.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. It's the Browns. How many of those picks will be made wisely?
No, none. I mean, look. It's about as likely as the Blues winning tomorrow. It's about as likely as that.
We spent a portion of an entire show going over the Cleveland Browns draft history. Okay, so
yeah, here's the full trade. So the Browns they get the number 8 pick, the Eagles' 3rd round pick, and a 4th round pick this year, as well as the Eagles' 1st round pick next year. And 2nd round pick in 2018.
And
the Eagles get number 2 overall, and then a 4th round pick next year.
The Browns actually kind of fleeced them a little bit, I think, because I don't know that I would move up. I don't know if I'd give up a whole lot to move up to take either one of these quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but this isn't like a Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck type draft here where you've got a sure thing. Right. And I don't know that I would give up the Rams and now the Eagles have given up to get to these slots. I just don't know that I would do it, but okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't blame them necessarily because we've seen how important having a good quarterback is.
Right.
And at a certain point, these teams have got to say, like, Sam Bradford, whoever they have it in Los Angeles, Casey Keenum.
Same difference.
Yeah, Casey Keenum. But at a certain point, you've got to say, these guys, they aren't going to be good enough to take us to that next level. We need someone else. And we don't. These guys in the draft, they're not Peyton Manning, they're not Andrew Luck, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be. They're not potentially good NFL quarterbacks either. So given how important the quarterback position is, I don't really blame these teams for going for.
I completely understand what you're saying. I just think that maybe it's just me, but I think you probably could have gotten those picks for a little less than what you gave up for them. Is what I'm saying. But hey, I'm just surprised.
It depends. It's seller's market.
That's true.
Well, and here's the thing: if you're the Eagles, though, like they trade up there because they obviously want one of the quarterbacks. But were the Browns going to pick one of the quarterbacks?
Yes.
No, they got. Don't they have?
Well, they got
They
RG3.
They got RG3 in Cleveland. There you go.
Right, but I don't think he's a long-term thing. Maybe they think that they were going to pick him and then have him sit a couple years behind RG3, which I think the Eagles want to do with Sam Bradford, because for most people that say it, Carson Wentz is a guy that needs a couple of years of seasoning maybe before he's officially ready to be an NFL quarterback, and that's what the Eagles' plan is probably going to be, unless Carson Wentz pulls a Russell Wilson and beats out the supposed starter in camp,
Flynn.
like that. Yeah, with the Matt Flynn situation back then. But the Browns probably would have been better off not picking a quarterback at number 2 anyway. I don't think the Chargers are really looking for a quarterback yet.
No.
With Phillip Rivers. Same with the Cowboys. Same with the Jaguars.
You
Same
look up
with
all the way down,
Titans.
you get down to 7 in San Francisco. I could see them being in the market for a quarterback, maybe, but
yeah. And so I think the Eagles didn't need to go all the way up to 2 to do this pick. And I think ultimately, the Browns might, as long as they can draft well, and I know they've done another changeover at in the management with the Browns to hopefully change that direction when it comes to drafting well. But maybe this is the start of the turnaround for the Browns.
How many changeovers have they had, and how many changeovers have actually resulted in better drafting?
35 and 0.
Of course. No, I know. We went through a long, detailed run of how bad the Browns have drafted. I remember. But, to pick up more picks like this, like, you get an extra first-round pick next year.
It's a smart move.
Second this year. Yeah.
There's no question. It's a great trade. I'm surprised that the Browns of all teams pulled it off, because they really, for what they gave up, again, if you need a quarterback, these two guys are probably as good a choice as you're going to get in this draft. But for them to get what they got out of it, I'm just surprised. I didn't think they, it seems to me like if it were the Browns, they'd be like, okay, you can have our number 2 pick, and we'll also give you 5 other picks, and that's the deal. And they don't get anything in return. That's what I would expect out of the Browns, but we'll see.
But on the other side of things, like, what the hell are the Eagles doing?
I don't know.
They're not going to – I don't think they're going to contend for anything really this year.
No.
And, are they thinking, well, we'll get the quarterback and we'll develop him over the next 2 years while we rebuild? I don't think they're also in a rebuilding situation either.
Well, you think about it, though.
They're one of the middle-of-the-road teams.
If they get away from Chip Kelly's offense, that might – because they've still got DeMarco Murray, right?
No, DeMarco Murray's in Tennessee.
Okay, well, never mind then. So much for that theory. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I really don't know what the Eagles are trying to do here.
I honestly think they're –
get the quarterback to go.
I honestly think the Eagles are trying to get as far away from Chip Kelly's team as possible, because they gave Chip Kelly the keys to the kingdom to build whatever team he wanted to build, and that failed miserably. So now that he's gone, I think the Eagles are like, we've got to get as far away from this as possible.
But doesn't this also feel like the move that was rumored, that Chip Kelly was rumored to try and make last year to get Marcus Mariota?
Yep.
This, if they wanted to do this, they should have done this last year and tried to get Marcus Mariota when they had Chip Kelly in something that might have worked. This seems like a Chip Kelly move without Chip Kelly even being there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But you know what? I don't know that he was that unsuccessful in Philadelphia. He had, what, was it 2 or 3 10-win seasons, or 2 10-win seasons, and then whatever they did last year.
Yeah.
But I think with him, it was just his personality. It was just not the right mix for Philadelphia at all, from the organization through the fans and everything else. But I don't know what they're doing. I never know what the Eagles are up to, because they're just the Eagles. And we talk about other teams that are spectacular failures. The Eagles don't really get a lot of play in that, but, I mean, they aren't really exactly a model franchise themselves,
Yeah.
Well, good for the Browns. Let's see if they can do anything with this now. I mean, they need everything. Are there any other quarterbacks past those two that are pretty good prospects?
There's the Memphis quarterback, Paxton Lynch, that a lot of people have down to Tennessee at 15. Or not Tennessee at 15, because they have Marcus Mariota. I guess a lot of people think San Francisco might be in on Paxton Lynch, I think.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a mock draft where I don't have to watch all these goddamn videos for it. Mock Draft Central. Thanks, NFL.com. There's a Mock Draft Central. Let's see. Who is this first guy? Paxton Lynch, they have falling.
There was a thing with Lee Steinberg and
this guy has Paxton Lynch going all the way down to the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, Paxton Lynch looks like he's more in the late half of the first round. This guy has him falling all the way down to the Cardinals. Buffalo at 19. I think that's the earliest any of these NFL.com guys have him at is Buffalo at 19. But I don't know. And again, quarterbacks can be so weird. We all remember Tom Brady was a 6th round pick.
Ryan Leaf.
Russell Wilson was picked in what, the 3rd round?
Yeah, Joe Montana's a 3rd round pick. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. You have your Peyton Mannings, and even Aaron Rodgers fell.
Right.
But you never know how the draft's actually going to play out because things happen where somebody picks a defensive end and says, "Oh shit, I got to get my defensive end now. Can't wait until the 3rd round like I was going to think." And then they go on a run. It's like anybody's fantasy draft. There's the one jerk that picks like a kicker in the 5th round. It's like, damn it, now we all have to pick our kicker because they're all going to go.
This mock draft has the Browns taking Miles Jack from UCLA. I don't think that would be a bad pick for them. He's a pretty good player. Oh, yeah, so you got? Oh no! You can't do that to Ezekiel Elliott. No, don't put him in a Cleveland uniform. No, don't.
Why not?
Oh God!
Think of all the jerseys they'll sell.
That's true. That is true.
No, I was if the Browns were at number 2, I was fully convinced that they were either going to pick Ezekiel Elliott or Joey Bosa. Because Joey Bosa's high up there as one of those DN prospects.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Who was it? Charles Davis has Zeke Elliott going at number 4 to the Cowboys. That would be a good place for him to play. Actually, be the Cowboys. He'd be a great fit for their offense. I think.
Yeah.
Good replacement for DeMarco Murray, and he's got young legs, but there's still a lot of miles in those legs. He had a lot of carries the last 2 seasons for Ohio State, so we'll see. But
you know what? Fuck the NFL, man. Look at us.
Yeah, I know.
Look at us sitting.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing. It's like it's April 24th, and here we are talking about the damn NFL.
There's April 24th. There's Stanley Cup playoff games on, and we're going in depth on the NFL draft. Looking at mock drafts.
I know.
Who are we?
The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports in high definition.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike's Tab.
Mike's Tab. Oh, Mike's Tab. Our tab. Forgot the word "So Canada" for a second. Mike's Tab.
So the Sacramento Kings they did unveil a new logo, but their new logo set for next season has been leaked.
Yeah.
And
without the colors.
Yeah. So we've just got black and white versions, so no colors, but it looks like the primary is a modernization of their old logo that was used between 1972 and 1990 something.
This goes back to when I was a kid. I don't know when they stopped using it, but I know it was around in the 70s.
93 is when they changed to the current purple, silver, and black logo.
So from 1972 to 1993, they had various forms of their old logo, and I guess their new logo is a modernized version of that. And I'm in a weird position because I don't particularly like the old logo, but I think the new version – I like the new version. Like, the new version takes everything about the old logo I didn't like and then changes it up just enough for me to go, okay, I like it.
I love it. I think it's because to me that's always because that's what I grew up with. In my mind, this has always been their logo, and I like that they're going back to it. I'm curious to see if are they going to stick with the color scheme that they have now? Are they going to change it? Right. What are they going to do? But
that's
I think
my question.
It's a really well done update of an old retro logo, and I of course I'm going to love that. But I think it looks really good, and the colors are going to be very important in it. But I think it looks great. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's my question too. Is the colors? If it's purple and black and silver still, I don't know how I'd respond to it. If it's red and blue, I'm still kind of curious as to how that's going to look, because there's already a lot of red and blue teams in the NBA, as there is in most of sports. But
what about?
I don't know if the current Sacramento, like, I thought the Sacramento Kings had really grown into the silver and black and purple. If they go back to their old colors, it's very much a Los Angeles Kings sort of idea, where you went to the purple and silver, you kind of had your own identity, people kind of liked it, and then they're going to go back to something else. Not all the way back, like the Kings haven't gone all the way back to the bright purple and gold.
Right, but
they're going to go back to bright
What
red
do
and
you
blue.
guys think about this? Like, just, okay, you kind of emphasize the black and silver more and kind of de-emphasize the purple a little bit with this. I mean, that might kind of work. I don't know.
What about?
But again, then you're just following the team that
Kings.
Yeah, this
been
is true.
unable to separate your identity from in the LA Kings. Even so much as like this king, this lion with the crown bouncing the basketball is very similar to one of the Kings' alternate logos that had a lion standing up with a crown with a hockey stick.
Right.
What about in terms of color scheme, powder blue and purple, sort of merging the two eras?
That'd be weird. That'd be really weird.
I could see the powder, because they wore powder blue for a while, right? I want to say in the Reggie Theus era of the Kings.
Powder blue and red.
That might work with this. That might look pretty good. I could see them going back to that. I don't think that I don't know. I mean, the black and purple thing's kind of over now anyway, isn't it? I mean, it has been for a while, at least to me. But
it was a product of its time.
Yeah.
But also, I know this is something that you're a fan of, Mike. When a team has been their best, use their color scheme from then. Mm-hmm. The Sacramento Kings were at their best when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, and Doug Christie. Those teams.
Yep.
That lost to the Lakers in that very controversial Western Conference Final in 2000, 2001.
Yeah,
that's why I hate that series is why I've hated Kobe Bryant for so long.
Dude, you need to hate the NBA officials over that one.
Yeah,
they had more to do with it than Kobe did.
But that's the Sacramento Kings that I'm familiar with. It also helps that they changed that color scheme in '93, so it's kind of what I grew up with in terms of following them or seeing them play the Lakers all those years was those colors. I still find it weird that they put a professional franchise in Sacramento in 1985. Sacramento.
I've got to say, as far as the logos go, I like the primary. It like that well enough. I know that the lion dribbling the basketball is very, I guess, derivative of something that the LA Kings have used. But I actually do kind of like it on its own merits, and I like the sort of MGM Grand-esque alternate that they have.
Right. That now that I thought that looked familiar. I couldn't place it, but when you say MGM Grand Lion, that is exactly what that looks like.
Yep. Like, I don't know.
Looks like the hotel logo. Yeah.
I just like everything. Like, it's not perfect, but it works. But I do think, looking at the Kings' recent logos, I have the answer to our color scheme question.
Okay.
Because this was used a couple seasons ago to celebrate their 30th anniversary in L.A. Not L.A., in Sacramento.
Sacramento. Yeah.
And it is entirely red, white, and blue.
Well, if you, I think that if you're going to go back to the retro logo, the updated retro logo, the red, white, and blue is obviously the best choice, because it looks good like that. Mm-hmm. How many are there really a lot of red, white, and blue teams in the NBA though? I mean, I think that's the league that has the least, isn't it? Let me look and see.
Let's take a look.
Well, you got one in your own state in the Clippers.
You got the Clippers, the 76ers, the Pistons, Wizards. So that's 4.
Yeah.
So
maybe not as much, but...
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be like another red, white, and blue baseball team, because I think there are, 30 baseball teams, and 35 of them wear red, white, and blue.
And to be fair, the Clippers seem to be going closer toward... They seem to be embracing black now for some stupid reason.
Yeah, they wore the black jersey in a playoff game. Like, Their worst jersey they wore in a playoff game.
You know,
all their jerseys are their worst jersey.
You want to talk about a team wearing its worst jersey in a playoff game? Just look at the Celtics.
Yeah, the Thunder and the Thunder wore their weird alternates the other day. Like,
you don't like the blue alternates with the racing stripe? I think those look cool as shit.
What, the Thunder?
Thunder, yeah, I like those.
They're interesting, but I don't know if they don't really fit the Thunder's.
No,
not at all.
It's like they tried to do some weird thing where it's like, what if the Thunder were a 1970s team, like a team from the 70s?
Right.
It's like, well, then they were the Sonics, so I don't know.
And then in their home games, they wore the white sleeved jersey too,
which is just a plain white T-shirt with a logo on the front.
Yeah, like I think the NBA needs to pull in NHL when it comes to the playoffs. Like, sure, you can have all the alternates you want during the regular season. That's when you can do whatever the weird shit you want to do as an NBA franchise in the regular season. But when it comes to the playoffs, pick one.
Yeah, pick your own, pick your road, and be done with it. That's it. Yeah, I agree.
These games look like there's different teams playing every single time they take the court.
I agree.
In the same series, it's just it makes no sense. Just pick a look and go with it.
All I know is that while I obviously want to see the Raptors do well, I am a bit bummed out about the fact that the Raptors' first ever 7-game playoff series win, will come. Even if it's not this year, it's probably going to be sooner rather than later with this current kind of identity that I'm really not a fan of. Because it's like, why couldn't they have had more success when their logo was a giant red dinosaur dribbling a basketball? That's amazing.
I don't know, but I will tell you this: the funniest animated GIF I've ever seen is that fucking dinosaur when he comes running out and trips and falls down. I have watched that thing. I gotta think at least 1,000 times, and it cracks me up every single time. It's just the funniest thing.
I will say this about the Raptors' new look. It's not as bad when you see it in person.
Okay.
Like when you actually see the jerseys like on a shelf or like like hung up in a store.
Yeah, they're not bad looking jerseys. In a vacuum, they're fine. They're very nice basketball jerseys. But when you're the Raptors, you can do something better than just that.
And then they give their fans purple. Like the first year after they finally eliminated all vestiges from the purple identity, they give out purple T-shirts for their fans.
Yeah, they're probably leftovers or something. They could get
no, it was with an all-new retro-esque purple logo.
Really?
Like
it was a brand new logo, and it looked like garbage.
Oh man!
I thought you posted it in our little chat.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
But anyway, on the Kings, I think the red, white, and blue is probably the best choice. Maybe a powder blue in place of the royal blue. But I think they got to go that route because that logo's going to look kind of dumb in any other colors, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs.
Wow.
We don't have a song for you. Sorry.
It's fine. Let's see. Let's start off with everyone's favorite ESPN announcer, or former ESPN announcer, Kurt Schilling finally gets the heave ho from ESPN after yet another political meme posted on his Facebook page.
By the way, Kurt Schilling's Facebook page is basically the Facebook page of everyone's racist uncle.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
This guy, I just can't get over this guy. It's about time ESPN finally cut him loose. But go ahead, Zach.
Why can I not see the actual meme? I thought they would have it in this article. I'm pretty sure the meme had something to do with the transgender
right.
Thing
yeah, I did
in North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so they finally got rid of him after so many years of political memes flooding our timelines.
Hey, you know what? We need to but before I forget, guys, we should probably talk a little bit, unless you already had this, Zach, but Prince died.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Oh, okay, sorry.
In a different way, but yeah, go ahead. Talk. I've never got Prince.
Me neither.
Neither did I.
There's a whole bunch of people that were just going out there like praising him, and like he was a bastion of pop music, and he changed the world, and like he means so much to so many people. And I'm like, I've never understood the guy. I could name a couple of his songs, but I couldn't tell you the tune of any of those songs, except for, I think, When Doves Cry, maybe Party Like It's 1999.
Yeah.
But those are two. But that's it.
I'm the same way.
People are always like,
honestly, the
Purple
most
Rain.
I know.
I don't know anything about Purple Rain.
The most I know Prince from is that Chappelle Show sketch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I didn't put it up, but when I found out he died, I just wanted to go up on Facebook and make my status, game blouses. But it's a big deal, and people are making all these tributes to him. But Prince never connected with me on any level.
See, my thing
Same
is
with me.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. I'm just saying I agree. I'm with you guys. Go ahead.
I don't know. I feel the same way, honestly. Not to draw unfavorable Michael Jackson Prince comparisons, but it's kind of the same thing. Where by the time I was becoming aware of music, Prince was sort of, he had already come and gone, right? And so it was sort of like I kind of knew who he was, but I never really paid him much mind. The most recent thing about Prince that I can remember is that he put on a pretty half decent NFL Super Bowl halftime show in the rain.
But look, he's a great musician. There's no question about it. I mean, the guy could play everything, and he was very adept at every instrument. But and again, I'm not saying that it's not there. I just never saw the quote unquote genius in his music that everybody else sees. He wrote some good tunes and all that, but
also he changed his name to a symbol at one point.
Right, like the things I know about Prince are that he's a weirdo, right? Like he's kind of a weird guy, had just weird tendencies, spoke very, very softly, was, there was always the joke is the artist formerly known as Prince, but I don't know anything about him other than he was a weird guy, and he made some songs that I guess people liked, and that he was from Minnesota, that he was huge into the Vikings and the color purple.
Yeah,
and apparently, apparently the Twins in the Wild did like a purple out in his honor.
Yeah, the Wild did a thing before the game today.
I've seen like a bunch of buildings have like gone purple and stuff. I mean, look, again, now this might just be a generational thing, but to me, Prince is like this is like David Bowie. I guess maybe that's what Prince is to this generation. Like Bowie was the guy that I think when you talk about what Prince did, I look at it and go, no, Bowie did it all first. And, different styles of music, obviously, but I don't know, maybe it's just a generational thing, but I think that of the two, David Bowie is by far the bigger talent in my mind.
So we're the worst podcast to talk about Prince because Zach and I are the generation after Prince, and you're the generation before Prince.
Right.
And so we don't have anyone who could actually appreciate Prince.
Yeah, I would love to hear like an explanation of what. And again, I'm not knocking him. There's some of his stuff that's really good. I really like it, but the full body of his work just really didn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I really. I can't say the last time I even listened to a Prince song. I don't know if I've ever listened to a Prince song all the way through. People say, well, he made perfect pop songs, and it's like he's not one of those artists where you even heard him like on classic radio after the fact. It just seemed to me that he never made like a truly lasting impression on music until this week when he died, and people were lauding his praises. It's like, okay. The most contact I ever had with Prince was the fact that he played that Super Bowl show the year the Colts won. He played the thing in the rain, and he played his guitar like it looked like in his shadow. It looked like he was playing his penis as a guitar.
He was bigger, I think, than your impression of him, Zach. He was way bigger than that, but
I have no impression as to what he did.
Yeah, I mean, me either. I mean, I know like the Purple Rain album was pretty good, and we probably sound like idiots because people are like going, "What the hell's wrong with you three?" But the truth of the matter is,
Chappelle Show. That's my frame of reference for Prince.
Right?
Which is one of the funniest comedy sketches I've ever seen, to be honest. I mean, it was just anything that's got Charlie Murphy in it's funny to me, but Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. There's our take on Prince. I mean, it's a shame to see. It's surprising that he was so young.
Right. If anything to speak as to what kind of impact he had on a certain generation, MTV started playing music videos again the day he died.
Yeah.
They were playing all Prince music videos. But here's the tab I had pulled up. So it was MTV's celebrating Prince, and they have an all-day Prince marathon of music videos, you know, actually playing music videos on music television. I guess they just went through and, like, found all the videos that were tabbed as Prince in their library and just set them to play. So at one point during the day, they played a Fresh Prince video with Will.
Oh God!
They were just playing a bunch of music from Prince, and then all of a sudden, "Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble" by Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh my God!
Showed up in their marathon.
Oh, that's great.
That's perfect, man. Come on. But yeah, he wrote a lot of like big hit songs for other people. I know that.
Didn't he write "Nothing Compares to You"?
Yeah, he wrote that. He wrote a couple other hits that he wrote. Oh God, why can't I think of it now? "Nothing Compares to You." "Manic Monday" by the Bangles. He wrote that.
Really?
Yeah. There's a couple others, but again, I'm not trying to diminish his status as an artist or anything. I was just never that big a fan, so maybe that's the best way to put it. I mean, he might be the greatest thing ever, but I just guess I missed it because I just don't get it. Some of his stuff was pretty good. Great guitar player, no question about it. There was a clip of him doing a thing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think it was, with a George Harrison tribute or something, where they played a Beatles song. And Prince came out and just absolutely just blew everybody away with the guitar playing. But other than that, I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fan. So, anyway. Shall we move along?
Sure. Next one I've got...
Also, Prince, my other Prince frame of reference, a Celebrity Deathmatch episode where he fought Prince Charles. There you go. Those are the meaningful impacts Prince has had on my life.
You know what's really kind of sad about this is there are probably like people in our audience that are going, boy, I can't wait to hear what they have to say about Prince.
Oh.
And we are just fucking it bad right now. What are you going to do?
I'm sorry.
Literally no frame of reference about Prince. I'm sorry.
We really apologize, folks.
Prince eulogy.
You came to the wrong place for the Prince eulogy. You might want to try a different podcast because it just ain't happening here. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead, Zach.
The Chargers had a rally in San Diego for the stadium that they're maybe going to build.
Anybody show up?
Like 2,000 or was it almost 4,000 people? I might have read.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, it's on the Chargers website. Roger Goodell showed up, wasn't booed.
Hey,
made a speech.
That's a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they put out a bunch of renderings of what the stadium's supposed to look like, and one of the funniest renderings in the list, they showed what it would look like for the annual boat show. There's the link to the rendering. So you have it like, it's downtown, it looks pretty nice, you know, it's also the convention center. And then you scroll down and you see what it would look like with a bunch of boats in the middle of it.
Here's the problem with all of this. This stadium is being proposed as a replacement for the San Diego Convention Center.
Here it is with a bunch of boats.
Here's the thing.
This is what it looks like if we fill it with chimpanzees.
That's the shows that run out of the San Diego Convention Center have already said that if this stadium becomes the replacement for the San Diego Convention Center, then San Diego's going to lose those shows, including the huge moneymaker that is San Diego Comic-Con.
It looks like it would be nice. I mean, but...
Yeah, Yeah,
Like,
it's right downtown. I see where I've been there plenty of times. I know exactly where it would kind of be.
I'm just happy, though, for the first time that the team is actually putting together an actual workable proposal. But I don't know.
Yeah,
because...
today was the first day of that's what this was. It was the kickoff for getting the signatures for the bill to get it on the ballot. LT spoke to the crowd and said, you deserve it, San Diego. This is where the team should be. Phillip Rivers was there. Roger Goodell says the Chargers belong in San Diego. And 4,000 people showed up to this event. Oh. It was 4,000. So, I mean, I guess people have either forgiven Dean Spanos or
I think most are actually in the same boat I'm in, where it's like, we like the team.
Yeah.
But Dean Spanos is a terrible, terrible person. But
if Dean Spanos can work out a deal to get a stadium done and keep the team in San Diego, does that change the opinion of Dean Spanos at all? Or is he still
don't think it would.
The guy that he wanted to go to LA first, didn't go, so he came back to San Diego, and kept us for team.
As an out of town fan, it wouldn't change my mind any. I'd still kind of view him unfavorably. I could see how if a San Diego fan would be like, "Oh, okay, well, he got a deal done." But I've got to think, even in that situation, you have to at least admit he was a douchebag about that whole "I never wanted to leave" guys.
Yeah, I think ultimately it would just matter, like, if you get to keep your team or not, I think would be the thing. I don't imagine it changing. If you don't like him already, you're not going to change that opinion because he stomped his feet and had a fit until he got a stadium, because that's basically what's happening here.
Well, his second choice, he wanted to go to LA.
That's what I mean. Yeah. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. You guys know the routine by now. Follow us at Basically Sports on Twitter. We can be subscribed to via the iTunes, the Stitcher, the YouTubes, and the Spreaker. And you can find us, on Facebook. And with that, that's all I got.
See you later. Go Ducks.
I'm going to say it. Go Blues. It ain't going to happen, but I got to say it anyway. I can't quit them.
Greg, just like the Titans, eventually you have to give it up.
I will after this year, I promise. All right, we'll see you next time, folks.
Later.